Here's Walker, cuts back. Kenneth Walker is in. Touchdown, Seahawks. It's Rashid Shaheed. With the steam, Shaheed breaks through. Still going. A flag flies. Shaheed's going to take it all the way. Let's see if it stands. It's a 95-yard return if it holds to start the game. This is going to count.
Yo, you know the deal. You nothing changed. Judah Ben. Yo. Here we go again to open up the show again. Suckers want to copy, so they try to wonder where we been. It's Thomas from the Bronx talking boxing, football and baseball and sometimes wrestling. Plus he all about the dough like Fosse. You might even catch him live, be on IG. You know he still rock with sock, even when the whole block is hot, chillin' in the cut like a doc. A lot of cowards, they act fake in a spot like they taking a spot, but imitators a pop. Tommy dropping out gems like a treasure chest. Every other week you might catch him with a special guest. Like the champ Keith Cologne, he's a regular. Took pics with Bud, so you better show him love. BVO and D-Free playing safety. They blocking all nonsense. Sonny, change your conscience. Yo. You already know the deal. Judah Ben. Tell a friend to tell a friend, son. Tommy from the Bronx. BVO, D-Free, Socrates in the spot. East St. Louis.
Yo, what's good, man? Good morning, good afternoon to all of you listening in right now. Happy Sunday, happy championship Sunday. AFC, NFC championship games about to begin in a few hours. Going to start off with the Patriots and Broncos, and then followed by my Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to just do a quick preview before I got to go on the radio in about 50 minutes. I got to do the radio, Ring Talk Worldwide. But I wanted to do this preview and just break down some of the things, just give you some of the stats and some of the things happening in these games, make some predictions as well as we get to the Super Bowl, and give you some lines, some odds that, a lot of people didn't see coming, right? We got 4 teams playing to go to the Super Bowl. 4 teams I don't think anybody really expected, including me, right, as a Seahawks fan. If you look at one of my shorts and if you look at the interview we did with Steve Serby, you'll see that Steve Serby said that, it won't be the Seahawks making the Super Bowl. And he could still be right because they technically haven't made it yet. They have to win the championship game. But then I also agreed with him. So, yeah, you're right. They're not going to, I didn't think much of this team, to be honest. But, the Broncos, they were not a preseason favorite, but they were up there in comparison to other teams, of the other 3 teams, and the Rams actually. The Rams were the biggest favorite out of the 4 teams to go to the Super Bowl. So the favorites to make the Super Bowl this year, win the Super Bowl, the Eagles, the Bills, and the Ravens at 7-1, right? And the Chiefs were followed by the Chiefs at 8-1, and the Lions and Packers at 12-1. But the Rams were the biggest favorite. They were 20-1 favorites. That's plus 2,000 for a $100 bet. And then followed by the Patriots at 25-1 at plus 2,500. But then the other two teams, big time, I guess you want to call it underdogs, to make the Super Bowls, to win the Super Bowls, actually. The Seahawks was 60-1, not underdogs, but 61 odds to win the Super Bowl. Them and the Cowboys had the same odds at 60-1. That's plus $6,000 for every $100 bet. Followed by the Patriots, who were 80-1 to make the Super Bowl. That's 8,000 plus 8,000 for every $100 you make a bet as well. So 4 teams not really picked to go anywhere to make the Super Bowl. Maybe make the playoffs, like the Rams and Broncos would definitely not be have a chance to make the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, as far as the preseason odds were concerned. So let's get to it. We got the first game starting approximately like 3:15, 3:30, I think, East Coast time. We have the New England Patriots taking on, going to Denver, taking on the Denver Broncos. Both teams had great seasons. The Patriots were the number 2 seed, led by their quarterback Drake May, who had a phenomenal season this year. The Patriots, I believe, they finished 14-3 with the number 2 seed. I believe the Broncos also 14-3, but they had the tiebreaker to get the number 1 seed. Injury report. Obviously, the big injury in today's game is Bo Nix. Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos is out. They are going to have to go with their backup quarterback, who hasn't quarterbacked in 2 years? 2 years. He hasn't quarterbacked since the Broncos benched Russell Wilson back in 2023 for the last 2 games of the year. And I think he got a win in that game. We're talking about Jason Stidham, the guy from Auburn University, who was a 4th-round pick for the New England Patriots. Yes, he started his career as a New England Patriot. That I believe he went to the Raiders for like a season, and then now he signed like a $10 million contract to be the backup for the Broncos. So Jason Stidham will be your starting quarterback today. That is the big injury report there. But the Broncos do have the Patriots do have a big injury as well. Harold Landry, I don't believe is playing today. He's the big linebacker, outside linebacker, who had 8.5 sacks this season. So that's a big loss for the Patriots. The Patriots are going into Denver. They are the favorites in this game. They're 3.5 favorite. Let me read some of the stats. They're led by, obviously, I just mentioned to you, MVP candidate. I don't think he wins the MVP. But he is an MVP candidate. Drake May, who threw over 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, led by the big running attack, right? They got Ramondre Stevenson, who started the season. He ended up with like 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. But then their rookie running back, Trayvon Henderson, who had a great rookie season, and he didn't start the season as a starter. He was pretty basically the number 2 guy. He had 911 yards this year, followed by 9 touchdowns. So Trayvon Henderson, and Ramondre Stevenson, helping Drake May, QBing, behind that big running attack. Led by their receivers, Cardi B's man, Stephon Diggs. He had over 1,000 yards this year with 85 receptions and 4 touchdowns. And don't forget the other receivers who put in work as well, Hunter Henry and Kayshon Boutte, right? And they also have a great defense too. They led by, their big linebacker, Robert Spillane, who has 97 tackles. And don't forget K. Le'Veon Chosan, who has 7.5 sacks, led by, the secondary, Marcus Jones and Jalen Hawkins. I think Jalen Hawkins led the team with interceptions. If not, it was Marcus Jones. But the Patriots, as far as offensive attack, they did have the easiest schedule this year, right? Now they're going to get battle tested. They have to go on the road and face a Denver team, but a Denver team that's injured and doesn't have their best player as far as, their best offensive player, and that's their quarterback in Bo Nix. So I'm going to read you some of the stats for the Broncos and how they can win this game and who can lead them. Let me just look in the chat, see who's here. Salute to my man Prize Fighters in here. BVO Sports is up in here. Salute my man Frontline's up in here as well. What's good? And my man D Free. I would drop the link, but I got to be quick. So I just want to do analysts. I don't want to, no hating until afterwards. So I'll drop it in a minute when I start talking about the Seahawks and Rams. Y'all want to come up, but I got to get out of here before 2 Eastern time because I got to do the radio. So I'm going to move over and shift. As a matter of fact, I'll drop the link now so I can get it out the way. Hold on one second. Let me just drop it now if y'all want to talk football. But just give analysis, give your opinion, no hating. I know people want to hate on my Seahawks, but I want to keep the show flowing. You know what I mean? So, but back to the Broncos. The Broncos, like I said, they got to go with their backup quarterback, Jason Sturdom, right? They're led by their receiver. They got decent receiver. Cortland Sutton is a monster of a receiver. He had a big year with 74 receptions, 1,000 yards, about 1,017 yards, 7 touchdowns. And another injury report that I'm going to report, he's questionable today. This would be a big loss if he can't play. Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin had a great year as a number 2 receiver. You know, he's been banged up a little bit this year. He's had over 709 yards, 6 touchdowns, 65 receptions. But most importantly, he had over 100 targets, right? So like he was looked at a lot, about 104 targets on the year, which is great. Right. So like he's a key part to their offense, but definitely one of the key parts of the offense is their running attack. But J.K. Dobbins has been hurt for a good amount of the year. And they had the rookie R.J. Harvey. Hasn't been really great as far as like the rushing attack as far as yards per carry, but he does get in the end zone. He's got 7 touchdowns on the ground, 5 touchdowns receiving. So if the Broncos going to have a chance, they're going to have to, play ball control. They're going to have to do time management. They're going to have to run the ball. And they're going to have to be, their defense is going to have to turn the ball over a few times. And I think they can. I think that their defense is phenomenal. I think they have a great defense. Also want to mention Evan Ingram is going to be a key part of this offense. Sometimes the backup quarterback and those quarterbacks that haven't played in a while, their go-to guy is the tight end. So Evan Ingram, who had a decent year this year, he had over 50 receptions, 461 yards, but he does get targeted a lot as well. So I expect him to get some targets in today's game and be, he'll be there and available to make plays for this Broncos team, for them to have a shot. But let's talk about their defense. Their defense is pretty stacked and solid. And they're going to be playing at home and they're going to be charged up. This is a chance to play for the Super Bowl. You feel me? Bruce Gass in there saying, go Pats. I feel you. I feel you. Bruce is definitely in that New England area. He's saying go Pats. Like I said, they're the favorite 3.5, but let's talk about the defense. Alex Singleton, leads the team with 135 tackles, led by, Nick Bonito. He's the big sack guy, right? Pause. But 14 sacks of the year for my man, Nick Bonito. Franklin Myers is another big defensive end on that line. He had 4.5 sacks. Justin Strand. He's got a weird spelling to that name. 4.5 sacks. And then their secondary is pretty good too. They got the big, Pat Surtain, who's been banged up this year, but nevertheless, he's a big time playmaker in that secondary, followed by Riley Moss, who I think led the team in interceptions for the Patriots. So if the Broncos got any chance to win in this game, and I do believe they have a chance to win this game, they're going to have to turn the ball over, play clock management. But I think the key to this game is going to be the Patriots defense. I think the Patriots defense is going to help them win this game. I think Drake May is great. I think they got a good running attack, but their defense shutting down the backup quarterback and Serta, making him make some turnovers, make him make some mistakes. I believe 3.5 is a good point spread on the road, right? That's a field goal and, plus, right? If you want to hedge, if you want to buy 0.5 point to a field goal, go ahead. But I think the Patriots win. I think the Patriots do win by at least a touchdown. I think they manage the clock as well. I think you're going to get a low-scoring game. I don't think the Broncos are going to go out like some chumps. I think the game will be competitive, but I think the Patriots will make more plays in this game, especially with their defense. And eventually the running attack will be big for them. And I got the Patriots winning this game in a low-scoring game. I like the Patriots to win 17-10. I think 17-10 is a good score. If not 17-6, something like that, maybe the Broncos can't get in the end zone. But I like the Patriots to win this game, go to the Super Bowl, and take on the winner of the NFC Championship game. And let's get to it. What's up, Yoda? What's good with you, Crush? Salute to you. Marky Dan, salute. I'm going to get into this game real quick, and then you can go ahead and analyze this game, and then you can give your thoughts. Salute to my man, Crush.
Salute to Chop Cheese Tommy.
Chop Cheese Tommy, a.k.a. Rodamez, a.k.a. TD Sports Talk. I got a lot of nicknames you guys give me. But Tommy
they
from
all
the Bronx.
fit.
But let's get to it. The Seattle Seahawks, who, whenever they are the number one seed and whenever they get home field advantage in the playoffs, they have made the Super Bowl. So does that trend continue? We will see. The number one seed, surprisingly, 14-3 Seattle Seahawks taking on the fifth seed, the Rams, who are 12-5. The Rams and Seahawks are rivals. They're the NFC West rivals. They already played twice. They split this year. Both games were nail biters. The first game in LA, the Rams won in a close game. In a game where the Rams pretty much dominated defensively. No, they dominated defensively because Darnold had a crappy game. I think he turned the ball over like 5 times with 4 interceptions, and Seattle had a chance to win that game with a late field goal, a 60-yard attempt, which was missed wide right. And then the second game was the classic. I believe it was a Thursday night game in Seattle where it went to overtime and Seattle went for 2 and got the victory. That was a crazy game where the Rams were up big in that game and they blew the lead. Kind of a questionable call that happened where it was like a fumble on a 2-point conversion where they picked it up and like casually and they scored the 2 points and the Seahawks won that game, ended up tying that game and ended up winning that game in overtime. So nevertheless, these two teams know each other well. They're rivals. They play each other well historically. Even when Seattle was good during those Super Bowl years, the Rams always played Seattle tough. They would beat them at least once in the season. So this is historically, a big-time rival. I hate the 49ers. That's a big-time rival, but this is a big-time rival. Big game in Seattle. I don't think the Rams are scared to play in Seattle at all. So Seattle favorite 2.5 at home. I think that's a good spread because they are at home. But, point spreads don't matter. Winning games matter, right? Making plays. So let's get to the stats real quick, and then we'll get into some quick analysis on both games from Marky Dan, whoever could come up. The Rams, led by who I believe will probably get the MVP, Matthew Stafford, threw over 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and they got a good running attack with Kyren Williams, my guy out of Notre Dame. He ran over 1,200 yards with 10 touchdowns, and they have one of the best receivers in football, Puka Nacua, who was second in yards. It's 1,700 and I think 7 yards or something like that with 10 touchdowns. I didn't write down the receptions. I apologize, but he's up there obviously in receptions as well. He had a monster year. I believe he was first team All-Pro, as well as my guy, Jackson Najigba, who had 1,790 yards, receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns as well. So definitely the top 2 receivers in the NFL this year are playing against each other. They can't guard each other, but the 2 big playmakers as far as receivers are in this game. The Rams also have a good defense as well. Maybe not as good as the Seattle Seahawks, but their defense is pretty solid. They got Nate Landman, the linebacker. He leads the team with 132 tackles and 2.5 sacks. They have their big safety who's tackling everything. He's like a linebacker playing safety. He had 102 tackles on the year, followed with 2 interceptions. Led by Brian Young in the sack department. He had 12 sacks. He's questionable for today's game, but I do think he does play. And led by their second-year guy, Jared Verse, who I think is a great young talent. I thought that was a great draft pick by the Rams last year. He's got 7.5 sacks. And then you go over to my Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, led by Darnold, first year with the team. We saw what he did last year with the Vikings. He kind of shit the bed in the playoffs. This year he's been good. He's thrown over 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. But here's the thing. 14 interceptions. And those 14 interceptions obviously are interceptions. They don't count the fumbles lost he had as well. So he is the big key of this game for the Seahawks. If he can manage this game and not turn the ball over, I do believe Seattle wins. But he had a great year, nevertheless, but he does turn the ball over. He does make some bad, erratic plays at times. A big loss for the Seahawks. They lose Charbonnet at running back. They do have Kenneth Walker, but they don't have that 1-2 punch, so they're going to rely heavily on Walker. He had over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. Obviously, those numbers could have been increased if he got more carries. He shares carries with Charbonnet. He's been a great running back for Seattle. The problem with Walker was always injuries the last few years. But he's been healthy this year, had a solid year. and they're going to have to rely heavily on him if the Seattle Seahawks are going to have a chance. And then you got the dark side. Yes, that's what they called. Back then, you had the Legion of Boom. Now you have what they call the dark side. The defense of the Seattle Seahawks, which is one of the best in the league, followed, I think the Texans might have been number one. Seattle is number two, led by my man Ernest Jones. Ernest Jones, I believe, like the fourth, right? Led by Ernest Jones, 126 tackles and 5 interceptions out of the linebacker position. And they got the rookie, who I think might win Defensive Rookie of the Year, Nick Imanowari, who plays safety. He had 81 tackles and 11 passes defended. I think he had an interception as well. My guy Devin Witherspoon, 72 tackles, 7 pass defenders. He's all over the field too. He's pretty much could be a safety playing cornerback. He's a big hitter playing defensive back. You don't see much of those in the NFL anymore. Defensive backs that can hit and tackle like he can. Kobe Bryant, my man Kobe Bryant led the team, I think, with 4. He didn't lead the team, but he led the defensive backs with 4 interceptions. Then you got Leonard Williams, who led the team in sacks, tied with Nwosu and my man Brian Murphy out of Texas with 7 sacks apiece. And this defense, they don't give up anything for free. They make you work for it. And I believe they will make the Rams work for it. Not like the last game. The last game, the Rams kind of, exposed the Seattle defense, a little bit as they, Nakua had a monster game. I don't expect that to happen today. I think it's going to be a raining day there in Seattle. I didn't really check the weather report. I did hear rain, but we'll go ahead and check it. But let's go and see Woolen be getting – yeah. But Woolen has played great. Woolen has played not great, but he has played well like towards the end of the season because Woolen be getting on our nerves. That you are right about that. But he has played solid like the last 6 games of the season. So go check. Woolen has played really solid at the end of the season. But he does – he's talented, but he does get on my nerves, sometimes make stupid penalties. But Woolen has been a big part of this defense, especially like the second half of the season. So, but with that being said, I'll make my prediction for that game. I picked the Patriots to win 17-6. I'm going to obviously take my Seahawks to win this game. I'm going to take the Seahawks to win in a close game. This is going to be a field goal game. I think this is going to be a close game, and I think the Seahawks win 27-24. So that's it. That's my breakdown. That's my stats. Those are my predictions. I got Marky Dan here, who's probably going to go and hate on my team. But go ahead, Marky Dan. Tell us what you think about today's games.
Nah, man. Salute to my guy, TD Sports Talk. Smash the like button. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, championship Sunday. I mean, just nothing but great battles on the slate. Well, at least on paper. Obviously hearing that Bo Nix injured himself. They said it was on the last play of overtime. Like that was heartbreaking for me because I was really, really looking forward to this matchup of the 2 young quarterbacks. Did Drake May and Bo Nix come out in the same class? I believe they did. I
2
believe
years
Drake
ago?
May was
Yeah, I
the
think so.
third.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the third. Drake May was the third quarterback. After Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. I think Nix was after Michael Penix and the other boy from Minnesota. You know, and I was really looking forward to the battle. 2 young quarterbacks that's had their teams on their backs the entire year. Even though I've heard a lot of criticism about Bo Nix. Still, I mean, he's put up some pretty good numbers for a second year starter. I believe he is. And then for Drake May, I'm not gonna lie to you, Tommy. When Drake May came out of that draft class, I said he was gonna be a bust. I
Mm.
said that Drake May was the weak link out of all of them and that he was gonna be a bust. He did not impress me that last year at North Carolina. I obviously see, the physical attributes, those things that you can't teach, the height, the arm. But I just saw a lot of inaccuracies. I saw a lot of bad decision making, but I mean, he's completely shut me up. I mean, this kid has came out. A lot of people think the MVP is going to go to Matthew Stafford, but it's a very good chance it could go to him. And then to take his team to this point in the playoffs, going up against a defense like the Texans. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember who he played. Who did they play in the first round? I can't remember who did they play in the first round.
The Chargers, I believe.
Yeah, the Chargers. Say whatever you will about those teams. Those are good No, but those are good defenses. And those are two quarterbacks that are experienced. They've been to the playoffs. This is May's first time here. So I can't do nothing but tip my hat to that guy. He is one of them ones, you know what I'm saying? And he's got an easy path to the Super Bowl, man. If he loses this game, he's gonna think about this for the rest of his life. Cause
Mhm.
it's not gonna get more easy than this. Like Jared Stidham, I'm rooting for him, but Jared Stidham, going back to his days at Auburn, he's known for choking.
Yeah.
That year when Auburn beat Alabama and they beat Georgia in the regular season, then they go on to lose the SEC championship game and get bounced out, and then they lose to UCF in the bowl game. That was Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I just don't see that. I don't see the Broncos winning this game. And it's a damn shame. It's a shame. They got a lot of great pieces. I'm not too sure how many of them are going to be there long term. I know for a fact they're gonna pay Pat Surtain. Matter of fact, they've already paid Pat Surtain, unless I'm mistaken.
I'm
But
not that I'm sure.
yeah, but they got Drake Greenlaw and Tyler Hofunga from the 49ers. Those are two Super Bowl pieces. From that year they went to the Super Bowl. They've got Bonito, like you said. They got Sertan. It just be a shame. Like you really don't know if this same defense is going to be back next year. You know what I'm saying? And even if they are all back on the roster, you don't know if everybody is going to be healthy for the stretch run.
Mhm.
So it's a shame when it all can't come together and when you have opportunities like this. But I got the Broncos winning. I see it being a 27-10 type of game.
Oh, you
I
got
don't
it
think.
total. Okay. Total
Yeah, I don't.
domination.
I don't think they're gonna be able to run the ball too effectively because J.K. Dobbins is out. From what I
Yeah.
heard, he's not playing in this game.
No, he's
So
out.
they got to
Yeah.
rely on the rookie out of UCF, R.J. Harvey.
Yeah.
So you got to rely on Jared Stidham and a rookie running back. Like I don't know.
It's going to
We're
be
gonna
tough,
see.
and Troy Franklin is questionable, and he's a big piece of that the receiving core.
Absolutely, the boy out of Oregon.
It's funny that you mentioned the draft. I just wanted to look at the draft. This draft was a good draft class. Like
And then I want to
Caleb.
get to the Niner or to the Rams Seahawks game. But go ahead.
Yeah. Just gonna go because it's interesting, Brian. If you look at this draft class in the first round of 2024, Caleb Williams, number one, he had a chance to get to the championship game. Jaden Daniels, who went to the NFC Championship game last year. Drake May was drafted number three. He's in the AFC Championship game this year. Marvin Harrison kind of a bust so far. Uh,
Nah. He don't got stable quarterback. He don't got consistent stable quarterback play.
But he's been kind of injury prone as well. But we'll go to the quarterbacks. Penix at number 8, McCarthy at number 10, and Bo Nix at number 12. Right. So like this draft class was pretty solid. The Seahawks drafted Byron Murphy in this draft. He's been a big part of that Seattle defense. I mean, this was a good draft. I'm looking it up and down. Jared Verse, who I spoke about from Florida
Yep.
State for the Rams.
And they got
That was a
Braden
great. He's
Fisk.
been great
Yeah,
for them.
Braden Fisk is also in that draft.
Yeah, so this has been a solid draft of 2024. Very sleeper draft. But go ahead. Let's go to the Rams Seahawks. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I didn't even see the two regular season games. However, I know that I believe that they were two nationally televised games. One was on Monday night, the other was Thursday, right?
Yeah, the Thursday night game. That was the last one. Yes,
Yeah,
that
and I
went to
know that
overtime.
they were very close. And I know that they were highly contested. I know that the first one, uh,
You there? Did we get cut off? Can you guys hear me? Oh, he got booted off. He must have a bad reception. But he was going to go into the games. If you guys can hear me, just let me know if you can hear me or not. I don't know if it's me or what's going on. He popped off, so I'm sure it's him as well. But I get he was going into the game. So like I mentioned earlier, the first game, Seattle and the Rams was a close game, but Darnold threw like 4 interceptions, and the defense kind of held him down. There he goes. Hold on. All right, go ahead, Marky Dan.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, my bad. People got all day to call me. They want to call me as soon as I get on the live. Like I was saying, I know that first game, Sam Darnold had a ridiculous amount of turnovers. Um, I'll say, well, even though I don't pay too much attention to what goes on in the NFC West. I don't pay that much attention. But I'll say this: I remember the post game. Stephen A, the whole media circus, they were trying to say Sam Darnold's not this. He's the weak link. They're winning in spite of him. And one of the linebackers said, "Shut that ish up. That's our quarterback." So that first game was probably like a that was a moment of that was a turning point of the season for them, probably as a team and as a locker room, because they came back, they won the second game, and now they got home field advantage in the playoffs, and they got a bye, which obviously helped them. You know what I'm saying? They coming off that big win against the 49ers, another division rival. So I mean, like they just got like everything is in the Seahawks' favor to win this game in my opinion. Now, obviously, you got Matthew Stafford, the old warrior, the old veteran, the old general who's walked this road before. He's been on many, many campaigns, brought home a Super Bowl on one of those campaigns. He's not ready to go home yet, and he got a lot of pieces on that team. Kyron Williams is the X Factor. Puka Nakua is the X Factor. Tutu Atwell, he could take the top off of defense. And then on that defense, we were just talking about the defensive line. So, I mean, this is a great game. I really can't. Um, what you said about the Seahawks um, being undefeated at home in the NFC Championship games, that's huge. I
Basically,
might have to.
every time Seattle has been the number one seed in at home in the NFC, they've made the Super Bowl all three times. This is the fourth time.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with history. I'm gonna stick with the trend. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks to win this game. I'm gonna say I think they're gonna score some points. I think it's gonna be 33-30 Seahawks. So it's gonna be Seahawks versus Pats in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I kind of see it the same way. I have obviously have the Seahawks winning. I don't think they score as high, because if they're going to win a 33-30 game, I'm going to be like, wow, the defense gave up 30 points again to the Rams. I mean, and listen, in football, sometimes teams just have your number, and when you play in familiar teams like Seattle has to play to get to the Super Bowl, they have to go through the NFC West. That is crazy. They had to beat the Niners, and now they have to beat the Rams. And those are no easy tasks. I don't care how good or bad a division rival is. Those are tough matchups. That's just what it is. They don't like each other. You step up a little bit more just because of your hate for them, just because of rivalry. So this is a tough game for both teams. Both teams are well coached, right? I think McDonald's done a phenomenal job in just his second year. Listen, he's done such a phenomenal job that the biggest Seahawks fan out of New York City, right? Seattle doesn't count, right? Because there's Seahawks fans all over the world, just like any other team. But there's not much in New York. I mean, the people in New York, they have a Seahawks bar here in New York that I go to, and it's full with Seahawks fans, but they're not born and raised in New York. Like, I doubted this team. I thought this team would win 7 or 8 games. McDonald has done a phenomenal job with this team to get them to 14 wins. So, I mean, it should be a great game. I mean, I don't like the fact that Charbonnet is out. That hurts us, I think, badly. Darnold's playing with an inch, like oblique. I think he's got hurt his oblique or something like that. So one hit, he could be out the game. So, it's an interesting game. I think our defense will step up for this game. The crowd obviously is going to make a lot of noise, keep Seattle in the game as well. So it's going to be a close game. I'm not saying we're going to dominate and destroy the Rams. I think it's going to be a back and forth, solid chess match. and I think Seattle's going to win. And I have to pick my team. That's just what it is. I'm not going to pick my team to lose. Let's face it. I think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl. I think the Rams or the Seahawks beat the Patriots or the Broncos. I don't think it's going to even be close. I think they dominate whoever they play in the Super Bowl.
You said you said so. You think the Seahawks dominate whoever comes out of the AFC?
Seahawks or the Rams. Whoever wins this game between the Rams and Seahawks will dominate whoever comes out of the AFC.
Mm.
I don't see the Patriots or the Broncos, especially without Bo Nix, beating
I don't
Seattle
know, but Tommy,
or the Rams.
when you got that young quarterback, not only that, you got Stephon Diggs. I mean, all that shit all that stuff people talked about Stephon Diggs after he got traded from the Bills, Josh Allen talking about, oh yeah, it's great. It's so much better when everybody's on the same page and just trying to have a good time winning games. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's saying, oh, you can't win with Stephon Diggs. So I mean, I'm just saying that's a motivated group. On top of the fact, Robert Kraft, you know what I'm saying? Like I think them boys want to win one for Mr. Kraft. After all the talk people had to say after the Bill Belichick Brady era ended, people said, "Oh man, Kraft should just shut up." You know, it was a lot better when he wasn't doing it, when he wasn't up front at the mic. You know, but now that Bill and Tommy's gone, see where Robert Kraft can't really hire, he can't do this and that. It would be beautiful for Robert Kraft to get up there on that stage and put that seventh ring on his middle finger, his other middle finger, excuse me, and be like, and what he said after Deflategate, out of all them wins, this by far is the sweetest. Oh my God, that would just be Chef's Kiss. That would just be a poetic moment for me. So I'm rooting for the. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm rooting for the Patriots. I'm rooting for the
Okay.
Pats to get it done.
All
I'm
right.
rooting.
That's two of you. I mean, we have Bruce Gass rooting for the Patriots as well. Of course, he's going to root for the home team. So, hey, I'm not mad at it. I mean, I could only worry about the team I like, right? You know. So, listen, if the Rams beat Seattle today and the Patriots win, I'll be rooting for the Patriots too, because I won't be rooting for the Rams. I tell you that much. So I would be rooting for the Patriots against the Rams. So I just think that the Rams and Seahawks, those are bad matchups for the Broncos and the Patriots right now. That's just what I feel. Obviously, what I feel doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't
How does
win
Pete
games.
Carroll
You know?
feel? How does Pete Carroll feel?
I don't know. Pete Carroll, I mean, I don't think he's mad. I think he's rooting for Seattle. Pete Carroll's not a
Nah,
hater.
nah. You don't ever want to see something do better without you. I think Pete Carroll wants y'all boys to lose.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
do.
But
But it's Super Bowl time, Tommy. It's
yeah, it
NFC
is. This is
Championship
it. This is
time.
listen, I'm
Immortality.
excited. I'm
Immortality.
immortality. I'm excited. I got kind of like my Super Bowl victory last week because I hate the 49ers, so that was sweet to beat them the way we beat them. There's no coming back from that. No
I
49er
enjoyed
fan
that
can
as
talk
well.
to me for a long time. I don't want to hear a 49er fan talk to me about football for a long time. Sorry, Oppa and LD. I know you're a 49er fan, but that was
What you
sweet.
make of what you make of them firing Sean McDermott? I don't think they should have fired Sean McDermott. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think
I
they just want
get
to go
it.
with a different look. It's not his fault, but sometimes teams just want to go and just kind of like refresh. But I don't
It's no
obviously I don't
country
think
for
it's his
old
fault.
men in the AFC, chop cheese, Tommy.
Say it
Tomlin
again.
gets done. I said it's no country for old men in the AFC, chop cheese, Tommy.
You're right.
Mike Tomlin gets done. Harbaugh gets done. Now they went and did my boy McDermott. He gets done. And it's all because Josh Allen doesn't have the nuts to take a team to the Super Bowl when
Yeah.
Lamar and Pat Mahomes isn't even in the tournament.
Yeah, you're right. He had a terrible game last week. This was the year that the Bills had the best chance. The Chiefs were out. You know, disgusting work, man, by Allen.
Yeah.
But football's a
He ain't
funny
got the
game. I mean,
nuts.
this year,
He ain't got the nuts to win like Jalen Hurts. Let's call it like it is.
But listen, football's a funny game, especially this year. There's been a lot more parity in the NFL lately in the last few years. A lot of teams coming out of nowhere that kind of drafted well, built their teams well, that had shots to win. The usual teams that are in there, the big favorites. I read the stats earlier in the program, about the Super Bowl odds. Listen, all the big favorites didn't even make. Some of them didn't make the playoffs, or they were out early. The Ravens were a 7-1 favorite to go win the Super Bowl, tied with the Eagles and the Bills. They both made the playoffs, but they were the favorites. The Chiefs were at 8-1 favorites. They didn't even make the playoffs. The Lions and Packers were 12-1. They had 12-1 odds, and only the Packers made the playoffs, and they blew a game, right? So listen, the 4 teams in the playoffs right now, chance for the
Nasty
Super
work.
Bowl. The Rams are the biggest favorites. They were 20-1, followed by the Broncos that were 25-1 odds. And then check this out: Seahawks. Nobody thought of the Seahawks to do anything. They were 60-1, 60-1 odds. That's plus 6,000. And then the Patriots,
Wow.
80-1, 80-1 odds. So this year
What were
has
the
been a crazy
Broncos?
year, huh?
What were the Broncos?
Oh, the Broncos were second. They were 25-1. That's not bad because they made the playoffs last year. So 25-1, but still, those are big odds compared to the other teams I read earlier. So all the big teams that
Absolutely.
had the big odds, not still to win the Super Bowl preseason, you still could make some money. But 7-1, 8-1, 12-1, all those teams are out of it. So
I mean, I enjoy it. That means That means that these other teams that might have been traditionally thought to be mediocre or crappy, such as the Patriots, such as the Broncos. I'm not really gonna say the Seahawks because they've had a lot of years of stability and consistency, going to the playoffs and golly, winning games. But I got to give a lot of credit to them organizations, man. They've been
yes,
drafting the quarterbacks well. They've been bringing in talent. I mean, you just heard those pieces, Dre Greenlaw, Talanofunga, however you say his name, that they got from the Niners. And
yeah.
then who did Emawari go to? The safety
No, he was drafted. He's a rookie.
is he for the Broncos?
No, for Seattle, the safety for
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah, that's a great.
Yeah.
Literally on draft night, I said I was literally there. You might have been on the stream. I said we need to draft him. I wanted us to draft him. He was my number one choice. Like he was 6'3", or excuse me, 6'3", 230 pounds of cock diesel muscle out of South Carolina, and the boy ran a 4.3, I think. So you know what I'm saying? Like I mean, they're just another great pickup. Shout out to these organizations. Who's the
Yep.
head coach for the Seahawks? Who's
McDonald,
y'all guy?
the former defensive coordinator for the Ravens, second season.
Well, they obviously got a great mind in there because he
See, and
did
that's
his
the thing I
thing.
was going to mention next is that some of these organizations, like you said, have done a great job as far as building their teams and then coaching. Listen, I personally favored the Eagles to go back because I felt like on paper they're the best roster, but I just the offensive coordinator I just thought was terrible this year, right? And I think coaching matters. I mean, I mean the game plan against the Niners. They weren't supposed to lose to the 49ers, right?
No,
And this is no shade. I mean, I thought the Eagles were obviously the way better team. The better
no,
team did
I
not win
agree.
that day. But coaching, this guy from the Niners, Salah, has coached his ass off, and as well as
Exactly.
what's the guy's name? The head coach. Oh my God, Shanahan. They done a phenomenal job, coach. I think
the
coaching has been exposed this year, also in the NFL.
the
A lot of good
problem
coaching jobs done by these coaches. So credit to
I
them. Like
agree.
you know,
The Jaguars and the Colts for the first half of the season before they had those injuries are a couple of another great examples of great coaching jobs. Um, with the Eagles, I mean, I agree. That guy, I mean, he got to go. Well, I can't even remember his name. It's some Italian bull crap. I want him gone. He's been terrible all year. Um, but I can't even put it entirely on him for that last game. we got a bunch of crybaby wuss-ass players, and one of them's name is A.J. Brown. No, I'm being serious, Tommy. This man is he is an effing crybaby. He is a man baby, okay? This man is out here dropping passes all over the place. This man drop a wide, or excuse me, Jalen Hurts put the pass into a tight window. It hit his hands, drop. He want to go on the sideline and cuss out his coach when Nick Sirianni is trying to talk to him. Second half, final drive. Even before the final drive, he had drops. But let's forget about that. Final drive. We need you. You're supposed to be the best damn player in the NFL. Long pass down the field. Hit him right in the hands. Drop.
Yep. I don't know what it is about them Ole Miss wide receivers where they're
But
mentally.
then they make it even worse. Like, do you know what he did after the game, Chop Cheese Tommy?
No.
He does the same BS cryptic message of crap. He gonna take off his game jersey, his game worn jersey, hang it up by Quinyon Mitchell's with a note saying "Much love, Q Money," which makes everybody question, "Wow, is this his last time in an Eagles jersey?" And then he doesn't talk to the press all year long. This man been crying and bitching after every game. Every game, but the one game where it is clearly on you. You don't want to talk to the press.
I
After
tell you.
all that negativity he injected into the locker room, he could have just did that after every other game this season.
Yeah.
Just shut his bitch ass up and have nothing to say.
I could tell that Marky Dan is very upset. He is an Eagles fan. I just want to mention one
I
thing.
want him gone.
Ole Miss wide receivers, they're mentally, unstable. DK Metcalf, we've seen
DK
him.
Metcalf. Yep, that's another one.
Phenomenal talents, but not headstrong. But anyway, I'm going to close it up, Marky. I appreciate you coming up here, help me analyze these two games. I think we're going to get two great games of football. I think you're going to see great defense on all four teams this tonight. This afternoon and evening. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm looking forward to my game. I'm a little bit nervous.
Hold on, Tommy. BVO, you a fudge packer for the Browns. That's why the name of your team is the same color as fudge. You're a fudge packer, boy.
Yeah, but he lives in Cleveland, man. He root for the whole team.
Yeah, the rectum of the United States of America.
Wow, that's disrespectful, man.
Brown boy.
Jesus. Anyway, guys, this has been great. I really appreciate Marky coming up and helping me do this today. I just wanted to come up here, talk about the NFC Championship game. I might recap tonight, depending. I mean, if my feelings are hurt, I probably won't be live.
Be a man. Be a man.
If I'm feeling great, obviously, if it's a great win, I'll probably be live. That's just the fact.
Wipe your tears with a chopped cheese.
I'll wipe my tears with a chopped cheese, but I will not be on. I can't get a chopped cheese. It snowed crazy over here, so the bodegas ain't doing shit.
Yeah, be safe out there. I've been seeing that. It looks crazy.
Yeah. It's still snowing now, so the bodegas is not gonna be open. So no chopped cheese for me. But listen, if Seattle does win tonight, I'll probably be live for like a few minutes and celebrate. If they lose, I don't expect to be live, but I'll probably do some sort of video and recap the games. And I won't be live. I'll probably do a video, but if they win, yes, I will be live celebrating the victory. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys coming through and hitting the like button and showing support to the channel, showing support to the live. We'll be back later. I'm going to drop a video later talking about the Zuffa boxing card, and I'll probably talk a little bit about Andy Cruz and Muratalla last night. That was a good fight. It was a good scrap. Hopefully maybe they'll do a rematch. I doubt it, but that was a very good scrap. That was good boxing. The card was okay. The co-main event was trash, but I'll make a video and I'll talk a little bit about that. So right now, in like a few minutes, I'll be on the radio. If you guys want to check me out on the radio, go to sportsbyline.com or look for Sports Byline USA on YouTube and see my man Pedro Fernandez on Ring Talk Worldwide. I'll be on approximately about 2:10, 2:15. He'll bring me on and we'll talk a little bit of boxing on there. So I appreciate you guys coming through. Check us out on the radio. Give my man Pedro Fernandez some support. I mean, he's a legend in the game. He's been around over 40 years dealing with boxing. So check that out. So appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you later, man. And you know what I got to say right now, right? Go Hawks.